Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping. So you already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up, let's talk about it. So today, I had a really hard time with today's video, kind of getting started with my thought process. Feeling a little down, not really down, but when I start delving into this stuff and world events and things that are going on, it can be daunting. It's heavy. And that is why a lot of people in our community have such a hard time struggling with anxiety and stress and the heaviness of, what is happening around the world, right? And so it's important more than ever to keep preparing and prepare like your life depends on it, right? To continue to push forward and do the things that you need to do. What's going to happen next, preparing for what's going to happen next is not an easy feat, because what's going to happen next? Well, I think you can expect, a nuclear exchange of some sort. I think we can expect, some sort of economic crash on some level. Hopefully it's not banks closing and no more ATMs and people can't get their money. Because that will lead to civil war, that will lead to very, very angry people. Speaking of that, I think you can continue to expect to see unhinged people hurting other people for no reason. More crime, more theft. Theft is crazy right now. And some of that is because people honestly are desperate and cannot afford stuff and are willing to take the chance to get some food and walk out of the grocery store with it. They're willing to take that chance. I think that you're going to see more strife. Parts of the world, more people going without heat, going without lights, going without food. I think that we're going to see no food. But before that, I think we're going to see a lot more limitations, regulations, rationing. I think that is coming down the road, because people still seem to think that there's plenty of food out there and there's no issues. There's nothing to be concerned about. But for those of us that follow it, it's daunting. There's a lot of scary things that are happening that affect our food. And if you actually opened your eyes and paid attention, you would see, just the fact alone that you get things and the expiration date is a month from now, or you get some fruit and within 24 hours, it's not good, or can't even get certain fruits that you used to be able to get. It's just, there's a lot of stuff happening that people are just choosing to not see. It's becoming normal, right? This crazy life that's happening around us is becoming the normalcy. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. And people are just walking around like, yeah, times are tough, but we just got to push forward. It's heavy. It's heavy, right? And I don't mean to be so gloom and doom, but you need to prepare for what's ahead. I think longer winters, colder winters. I think more than ever, it's important to prepare for a grid down. Prepare your home for a grid down. I think it's more important than ever to prepare your home for weatherizing your home, for sealing up your home to keep as much heat as you possibly can in the home. I think it's important more than ever to get your alternate heating sources. You have a way to heat and you have a way to cook in your home. What is that way? And then what is a different way that you could do it? If you have natural gas coming into your home that heats a stove, a cook stove, or a wood or a heat element stove, some sort, or heat your water heater, whatever it is, your dryer, you need to be thinking about what is the other options to replace that, right? If everything you have is electric, what are your options for heat and for cooking and all these other things if you lose electricity? Alternatives are super important right now. What are your backups to your backups? That should be the thought process is, stockpiling the things, getting the things you need, teaching yourself the skills that you need to learn, right? But what are the backups to the backups? And what happens if whatever happens lasts a very long time, if not indefinitely? If this country gets hit with an EMP, or even part of it gets hit by an EMP, That is a major, major deal. And that is definitely not fixed overnight. And it affects so many things that people do not realize. And so it's a different level of survival, right? That's way more than just some kind of mama bear stockpiling food, having extra food, having preparedness items, having water. That becomes survival of adapting and having skills, because things will run out. You'll start to run out of stuff, right, as you use it. Then what is the game plan for taking care of whatever it is you needed, we're using those items for, and how do you move forward? So you have to have skills. You have to teach yourself true survival of how to make it. I don't want to do all gloom and doom. There's positives of what I think is going to happen in the future as well. I think there's going to be more kindness from a certain amount of the population is going to swell with kindness, swell with empathy, wanting to help people, coming together, right? Communities coming together, neighborhoods coming together. I think that in struggle and strife, people do come together. There's people that will come together, and then there's people that will tear apart and that will become unhinged. And it's about preparing for both of those. What kind of person are you going to be? What kind of integrity are you going to maintain when this is happening, right? How do you know when to turn the empathy off and enough is enough? It's hard, right? And for me, I'm going to turn to God to guide me on what to do, because it's going to be really hard watching people starve. A lot of people say, well, what would you do if a family came to your house, didn't have a place to live, had no food, whatever? I'm probably going to have a conversation with them. A lot of preppers will try to say that they're big and bad and well, I'm gonna turn them away. They're gonna be at the end of my weapon, and they're gonna know they're not welcome there. But I would say there's a lot of people, especially if you're a daughter in Christ, that will I'm not going to say will not know how to turn somebody away, but you're going to go with discernment. You're going to go with, what is he telling you to do? And if I'm being told you can trust this family, take them in, give them something. And maybe it's take them in, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's show empathy, show love, show kindness, give them something and send them on their way and let them know I can't take you in. I don't know the answer right now, because we don't know until it happens. I can sit here all day long and tell you what I would do. And we just don't know until you're in that moment. And I'm going to be relying heavily on God to tell me and to push me in the direction that I'm supposed to go with decisions and decision making, right? But I'm preparing now, right? I'm preparing for security. I'm preparing for fortification. I'm preparing to not be a, soft target. I'm preparing my home, stockpiling stuff, learning skills, teaching my family what we would do in different circumstances. Positivities that I think will happen still. I think that more people are waking up, if you will, right? Times are tough with inflation, right? With the price of products, with the price of food. People are paying attention to that. You don't have to be some kind of crazy prepper to understand and see what is happening out there. And then understand, okay, maybe it would behoove me to stockpile some food. I've seen some shortages. I'm going to stockpile some food. I'm going to make sure I have water in my home, medicine in my home. And I'm going to make sure I have the things, because I see the writing on the wall. I see the potential of what could happen. What is happening, right? It's not what ifs. This is stuff that's happening. We have never been closer in my lifetime to a nuclear exchange than we are right now. And people are like, there's no way. Or you have another group of people that are like, who cares? We're all dead anyway. And it's crazy. So there is normal people out there that do not consider themselves a prepper, somebody who prepares, survivalist, any of the names that you want to say, homesteader, farm, any of those things, right? Those names that people give people. But still see and know, okay, I need to prepare. So the positive is, I think you have more families preparing, right? I think you have more families preparing in a way like, hey, they're stockpiling food, they're stockpiling meds, they're making sure that they have the things, they're saving some money, they're pulling out cash, right? They're paying attention, they're maybe getting the few things. Maybe they're not a full-scale prepper and don't know everything, but they're looking for this information. They're searching, hey, what do I do for fallout? Hey, what do I do if we do get bombs? Hey, can any of the bombs reach us? People are asking those questions because people are waking up, right? People want to know, okay, maybe I need to know the answer. Maybe I do need to know how to prepare for this thing if it happens, right? Maybe I do need to figure out, hey, how can I make my money stretch? So people are going to Google and the internet and to videos like this to learn, hey, what can I do to prepare my family for what's to come? Because it's a lot of negativity that's coming. It's a lot of bad and ugly stuff coming. But I would like to choose that there's going to be some positive stuff happening. I think you have more people preserving food. I think you have more people buying and figuring out, oh, pressure canning. Oh, my grandma used to do this. Oh, my great grandma used to do this. Oh, this would be fun. And they start watching videos and they start getting into it. I think you have more people dehydrating food, thinking about long-term storage with food, getting cheap foods that will last forever, because they're basically just trying to feed their family. They're not a crazy prepper. They're just trying to feed their family. And so they're like, okay, how can I do these freezing meals? How can I take this rice and make it into 1,000 different meals? How can I make these cheap staples last, right? What are the basics that I want to have, and let's stockpile it, you know? I think you'll have more people turning to God, whether they turn to God for the first time or they've been with God, walking with God, but they're talking to Him more, right? They're more concerned and what is happening and when things are going to happen and how it's going to happen, because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to survive for the most part, right? Let me look at my notes, you guys. I think more people, positives, I think more people are getting into gardening, especially with pricing of food. People are thinking about, what are my options? Is there anything I can grow? I've never grown before, but let me see what I can do, right? People are thinking of other options. I think you have people that are gardening more. I think you had people that kind of got into that during the last 2 years because they were at home. But I think that's what's great about staying home. There's good and positive things that did happen over the last 2 years, with families getting closer, loving each other better, spending more time together, quality time, baking together, growing a garden together, different things, right? Families out biking together. Like, you didn't see that stuff, but over the last 2 years, you saw that stuff because people were stuck in the house. So you saw more people on the hiking trails. You saw more people out on the beaches or the parks, or out biking, whole families biking, whole family of 10 people biking together, right? Because hard times, struggle times that are different that you have to adapt, there is negative, but there's also positive. Okay. I think you have more people that are thinking about self-sufficiency. That could be something as simple as people just getting, a power bank, because if the lights go out, they want to make sure that they can power certain things, right? Maybe it's stockpiling food. Maybe it's, getting chickens, growing food, whatever it is, on whatever level. I think there's more people thinking about preservation and self-sufficiency. And how can I do this without the government? Or how can I do this and not always think the government is going to come and help me? How would I handle this situation myself? If this happened, how would I handle it myself? If a storm hit our house right now and stuff got destroyed, roof was caved in on one side, different things were happening, flooding, whatever, what would we do ourselves to correct it, to fix it, right? Some stuff can't be fixed, right? I understand big, crazy storms, but there's things that you can do now. What do I do now to keep kids and vagrants and different people, desperate people, jumping my fence and trying to get to the garden, or trying to see if my garage is unlocked, and checking this and checking that and just being nosy? How do I stop that stuff, right? How do I move forward? And does my family know what to do if, God forbid, there's a nuclear exchange and you get that warning on your cell phone talking about take cover, incoming? Like, can you even imagine what your thought process would be if that happened? And what happens if you're not even home? You're somewhere else and you get that message. And let's take it a step further and an EMP hit first, so your vehicle doesn't work and now you have to get home, okay? Or maybe an EMP hit first and you don't even get a message that there's an incoming, right? Like, there's just a lot of scenarios and a lot of bad things that can happen. And it is hard and it is heavy trying to figure it out and wade through it. And I think a lot of times it's why this channel, I struggle sometimes with doing this channel, because you have a lot of negative people. You know, you have positive people, but you have a lot of negative people, and negativity sometimes is easier. It penetrates easier, right? It's very infectious. It's very infectious for people, right? They can't help themselves. But we got to concentrate on the survival aspect of this. I think I'm going to start bringing you guys some videos, maybe a little bit of more food preservation, cooking stuff. I don't want to turn this channel into a, you know, a canning channel or a, you know, off-grid cooking channel, right? But I might start bringing you guys those videos, different things that I'm doing during the day. We do a lot of food preservation here. And oftentimes I just don't show that stuff. I might show a picture on IG if I think about it, if I even care to, because a lot of times, to be honest, you know, I have to have a certain level of gray men to my life as a, you know, prepper who has a you know, a channel like this, right? I'm on social media, like I'm out there, right? I'm exposed in a lot of ways. And I'm okay with that. But oftentimes it's why I don't share a lot of stuff. We do a lot of projects, and I could be doing videos on that stuff, and just to be honest, I don't want to share it. You know, I like to keep a lot of stuff private and gray man in regards to what we're doing in our life, right? So I try to show you stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I just won't show. And so, and it just is what it is. But let me know in the comments, right? I know I've been in the live chat with you right now, talking through some stuff. Let me know, you know, your thoughts on the types of videos that you would love to see. I know that some of you would like to see some canning videos and some food preservation stuff and maybe some projects, but it does get difficult for me. So be specific, right? Tell me specifically stuff. I do videos all the time on what people email me about, ask me to do, questions I get. So let me know what it is that you guys want to see. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope your week is going good so far and is productive and is moving fast if you're a 9-to-5er, right? Or if you're in a position or a job that you do not like, sending prayers your way that you can just keep pushing forward, okay? One day it ends and you retire, and then it's a whole different ball game. So I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Blessings from my bear cave to yours. You guys take care.